Landman Season 2 is shaping up to be one of the most talked about TV returns of the year, and much of that buzz has to do with its leading man, Billy Bob Thornton. In a recent interview, Thornton opened up about how the show is shifting its focus for its second season, and what he revealed paints a fascinating picture of where Landman is heading next. If Season 1 was about introducing the gritty, morally complex world of the oil industry in West Texas, then Season 2 is about digging deeper, not just into that world, but into the people who live, work, and fight within it. When Landman first premiered, it was praised for its realism, a grounded, character-driven look at the American oil boom, told through the eyes of ordinary people trying to survive in extraordinary circumstances. Thornton's character, Tommy Norris, stood at the center of that chaos, a landman navigating a ruthless business where greed, loyalty, and desperation constantly collide. But as Thornton now explains, Season 2 is about more than the industry. It's about what the industry does to people. In his words, Season 1 was about setting the table. You saw the world, the stakes, the kind of people who live in it. Season 2 is where we sit down and eat, where we deal with the consequences of everything that's been put into motion. That comment alone says a lot about how the storytelling approach is changing. Instead of simply exploring the oil business as a backdrop, Landman Season 2 is turning its lens toward the human cost of all that ambition, corruption, and secrecy. Thornton also made it clear that Tommy Norris is going through a major transformation this season. In the first season, Tommy was a survivor, a man doing what he had to do to keep his head above water. He wasn't a villain, but he wasn't a hero either. He lived in the gray area, which made him fascinating to watch. Now, according to Thornton, Tommy is being pushed even further into moral uncertainty. You're going to see Tommy start to question what it all means, Thornton said. He's done a lot of bad things for what he thought were good reasons. But at some point, you start to wonder if you're still doing it for the right ones. That sense of reflection and reckoning seems to be the driving force behind the new season. Landman has always been about the people behind the oil rigs, the ones who make impossible choices in the face of money, power, and survival. But now, it looks like the show will challenge its characters to face those choices head-on. Thornton hinted that this season won't shy away from asking difficult questions about loyalty, morality, and identity. He said, "It's not just about the oil anymore, it's about who these people become because of it." Another interesting part of the shift is how the show plans to balance personal drama with bigger political and environmental themes. Thornton described Season 2 as more personal, but also more explosive. That might sound contradictory, but it actually makes perfect sense for Landman. Season 1 established the world of oil barons, land brokers, and local families all caught in the same web of greed and necessity. Season 2, on the other hand, is set to expose what happens when that web starts to tear. Thornton suggested that we'll see relationships break down, alliances shift, and new power players rise, all while the core conflict between profit and principle gets more intense. He also praised creator Taylor Sheridan for his ability to tell deeply human stories inside massive, socially charged settings. Taylor has this gift, Thornton said, where he can make something feel big, the world, the action, the stakes, but at the same time, it's always about people. You can have explosions, corruption, and politics, but at the end of the day, it's about a man trying to keep his soul. That statement feels like the essence of Landman Season 2. The world may be expanding, but the emotional focus is narrowing in on the characters. Fans who loved the gritty realism and intensity of the first season can expect even more of that, but this time, it's mixed with a deeper emotional undercurrent. Thornton even admitted that some of the new scripts left him shaken, saying, "There were a few moments this season where I had to stop and take a breath. You read a line, and it just hits you because you know it's true. You know people really live like this." Of course, Landman wouldn't be Landman without its strong ensemble cast, and Thornton acknowledged how the shift in focus gives other characters more room to grow. Demi Moore's character, Angela, is set to take on a much larger role after her shocking moves in the Season 2 trailer. Thornton called her storyline a game-changer and praised Moore's performance, saying, "She brings this fire to the screen. You can feel it in every scene she's in." What her character does this season changes everything for Tommy, for the company, for everyone. That dynamic between Tommy and Angela could end up being the centerpiece of the new season. Their power struggle represents everything Landman wants to say about corruption and survival. Two people fighting for control in a world that rewards ruthlessness. Thornton described their relationship as like playing chess with a ticking time bomb. Both characters are clever, both have secrets, and both are willing to go further than the other expects. But even with the increased drama, Thornton emphasized that the show still aims to stay authentic. He credited the production team for going the extra mile to make sure everything feels real, from the way the oil fields look to how the dialogue captures the rhythm of everyday Texans. That's the thing about Landman, he said. It's not a fantasy. It's real people living in a real world. It's rough, it's dirty, it's honest. As for Tommy's personal journey, Thornton hinted that the character might finally have to face the consequences of his choices. You can only run for so long, he said. At some point, you have to look at what you've done and what it's cost you. That kind of emotional reckoning could be exactly what set Season 2 apart from the first. It's not just about the next deal or the next scandal. It's about what happens when the people at the center of it all start to break under the weight of their own ambition. In many ways, Landman Season 2 sounds like it's growing up. It's taking the hard-edged realism that made the first season so compelling and turning it inward, exploring not just the world of oil and money, but the human heart that beats beneath it. And with Billy Bob Thornton leading the way, bringing his trademark mix of grit and vulnerability, it's hard not to get excited about where this story is going. As Thornton put it best, this season, you're going to see who these people really are when the mask comes off. It's darker. It's deeper. But it's also more honest. And if that doesn't get fans ready for what's coming next, nothing will. For more videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.